the inter-ministerial joint task force convened by the concerned joint secretary in the Ministry of External Force. So joint task force is actually a concern the joint secretaries in the Ministry of External Affairs. Okay. Now this interministerial conference group is actually will further improve the institutional coordination across government and provide comprehensive direction to this whole of government approach of India's relation with neighboring countries. So this is, as I told you, this is one type of platform through which India will able to achieve its one of the main objective of foreign policy. Okay, and that will be coordination across the government and provide comprehensive direction of whole of government approach. Means there will be also include about the any trade relations that will be signed among the countries. Okay, economic pact, defense agreement, or people to people contact. What are the important areas where both the country will be focused, that will be given more that will be achieved with the help of this meeting. Okay, now what are the important highlights of the meeting? So this interministerial coordination group provide a comprehensive direction with a whole of government approach to promote better connectivity. Okay, better connectivity among the countries, stronger interlinkages, like how they can link with each other countries, like cultural linkages, you can say, like economic linkages, defense linkages. Okay, that will be also and greater people to people connect with our neighbors, because more people will visit a particular each and other country, then it will be helps to develop more trust among them. Okay, it deliberated upon and took important decision on various aspects of India's bilateral relationship, like with Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka in the areas of trade and investment, connectivity, border infrastructure, immigration, development cooperation, and border security. So these are the areas where it will give a more focus. Okay, now it also focused on construction of cross-border infrastructure. This is the very important because this will help to stop the illegal migration of people. Okay, infiltration of terrorist organizations sometime from one boundary to another boundary. Okay, it also helps in means illegal migration, means fake currency notes. Some of these things are happened always. So it focuses on construction cross-border infrastructure, on enhancing trade with Nepal. It will look after addressing special needs of Bhutan and Maldives, besides humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan and Myanmar. So these are the areas where actual requirement is the actual focus, which make India and its neighborhood country give a more stronger bondage. Okay, so these are the areas where they will be, I mean, suppose India and Afghanistan, what makes a good relation? India and Afghanistan make a good relation like humanitarian assistance. Okay, giving them basic rights. Okay, help them to achieve their basic rights. That will be improve the trust between the Afghanistan people to towards Indian government. So this is what make two country more closer. So that means areas, sensitive areas where make bring two country more stronger will be the main focus part. In addition to this mechanism, ministries and department have been requested to accord priority to India's neighbors in the international activities, programs, and projects. So whatever the programs like India's Sagar initiative, that for peaceful maritime security. Okay, maritime security के लिए peaceful environment चाहिए, तो उसके लिए the participation of neighboring countries are very important. Okay, the Ministry of External Affairs has also organized a training module, okay, of on India's neighborhood for civil service training this year. So this will be also bring India will train the main bureaucrats of their countries. So again, this is like India's legacy. You can say that that will be improved in that part of the other country. So this will also bring a more organized relation between the two countries. Now, relevance of this meeting is very important because the timing of the initiative is significant. It comes within days of the massive protest over the economic situation in Sri Lanka. Okay, so this is like Sri Lanka now. Sri Lanka facing an economic crisis. So this is the time when such type of initiative will be helpful. It will be build a trust among both the countries, and this could also be convened to help avoid tension at the land border with Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Then India's neighborhood policy क्या है? It is a core component of India's foreign policy that focuses on peaceful relation and collaborative synergetic co-development with its South Asian neighbors of the Indian subcontinent. So what is this main thing of the neighborhood first policy? क्या main काम है? It is a like maintain a peaceful relations, okay, and collaborative synergetic co-development with its South Asian neighbors of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, South Asian neighbors Indian subcontinent में जो भी countries are हैं that have make a peaceful relations. It encompasses a diverse range of topics like economic, okay, trade relations among the countries, currency swap agreement. Then a technology, nowadays the technology is a one area where two countries will come closer to each other by transfer of technologies like nuclear technologies, biotechnologies. Okay, this will be also space technologies, defense technology. These are the areas where they will be give a more focus. Then another area, research and education is area. Okay, connectivity, space program, defense, security, environment, and climate change challenge. So these are the areas where both the India should focus, and it make a good relation with their countries. Now, this policy creates new avenues as well as leverages existing regional cooperation initiatives such as SARC, okay, SASEC, BBIN, and BIMSTEC. These are some regional grouping of South Asian countries. Okay, so this will give a new idea, okay, about suppose their an agreement is not signed in a SARC meeting, okay, because India and Pakistan have bad relations. BIMSTEC is one, you can say, emerging regional grouping where hope is that India will able to strengthen its relation with its nearby countries. So that will be also give a new ideas here. It complements India's look east policy focus on Southeast Asia and look west policy focus on Middle East area. So now look east policy is now it is act east policy, means through India participate with ASEAN nations. Okay, and BIMSTEC is very good example where India the initiative for implementing this act east policy. So what are the major roadblocks in India's neighborhood policy? What are the important challenges, you can say, concern? The first is about the trust deficit. As I told you that in SARC, most of the countries have not had good relation, like India, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, India, Pakistan, all have some, they have some issues like border issues, river water disputes, movement of illegal migration of people. So since India's independence, there has been a huge trust deficit between India and its neighbors, who considered India flaunt as a big brother attitude towards its smaller neighbors. Okay, this is what the Nepal and all these countries are saying, that Bhutan is saying that India's approach is like their big brother, means that India wants to dominate in international matters. Okay, India consider that all the points only means whatever the India's take decision, that will be followed by each and every country, but it is not the case. Okay, not focusing on other countries, there is also pervasive impression that barring Pakistan, India does not devote enough time and attention to solving problems restricting relation to with other neighbors. So most of the time India is engaged to solve the India and Pakistan relation. There are other countries like India, Nepal, India, Bangladesh have also water disputes. India, Nepal have Kala Pani disputes. So that area should be also solved by India with the same effort as India is putting to solve the areas of the India and Pakistan. Now, relationship with the Nepal hit a roadblock in 2015. Okay, like when the months-long demonstration and protest were launched by the Madhesi community. Madhesi community is living very south of Nepal, and this community are more interact with the part of the Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. So the people of Madhesi community are means you can say like beti roti relations, like this type of very close connectivity against the newly adopted constitution, as their demand for greater representation were ignored. So that was supported by India also. This forced a blockade of vehicular movement from India into Nepal, delivering a shock to the Nepalese economy. New maps drawn up in 2020 and the Nepalese constitution amendment to show that Indian territories of Lipu Lake, Limpiadhura, and Kalapani are belonging to Nepal are some of the other zone of conflict here. So India's initiative to improve relation with Pakistan did not meet with the positive response. Okay, like Pakistan resorted to increase the firing and shelling from across India's border, and continue to mastermind and support terrorist attack on Indian territory. These are the areas where Pakistan and India always have a tension. So it's like a ceasefire violation done by Pakistan every time. Okay, now recent takeover by the Taliban in Afghanistan has introduced a great uncertainty and anxiety in India and several other countries in the regions and beyond. Okay, like India's invested a lot of billions of dollar infrastructure development in Afghanistan, but because of Taliban had taken a government, a new government, entire project was showing a no result. So China doubled down on territorial claims and its transgressions along its border with South Asia from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh. So other issue includes here the death of 20 Indian soldiers at the Galwan Valley. China also laid claim to Bhutan's Sakting Natural Reserve and pushed along the boundary line with the Nepal. So these are the some areas where we can say that India and neighborhood policy is not implementing properly, and these are the some still challenges are there. Now, one important news from geography this year, this week was about the Indian monsoon. So, Indian Meteorological Department recently forecast that India will receive a normal monsoon this year. Okay, so India will receive a normal monsoon this year. So let's talk about what is this normal monsoon, how this IMD decide whether the India will have a normal monsoon or a deficit monsoon or surplus monsoon. Okay, so this is important for exam point of view. So recently the Indian Meteorological Department released the first long range forecast. Okay, long range forecast for 2022. We say that the country is likely to receive a normal monsoon for the fourth consecutive year. Now, this is very important to note it down. This is the fourth consecutive year when India is receiving a normal monsoon. Okay, India is receiving a normal monsoon. So, Indian Meteorological Department recently said that so a long forecast average that in 2022 India will receive a long means a normal monsoon. So for this you should know what is IMD first of all. What are the function of the IMD? So IMD is like it was established in 1875. Okay, before India got independence, 1875 was the time when IMD was because Britishers had given a lot of focus on to know the climate of India very well, to know the monsoon very well, or forecasting the different seasons in India, so that they able to plan their all the means programs like economic significance. So it is an agency to Ministry of Earth Science. तो किसके अंदर आती है? This Indian Meteorological Department is come under the Ministry of Earth Science. Very important for prelims point of view. Prelims में पूछा जा सकता है कि which of the following ministry under which ministry this Indian Meteorological Department is working. So it is the principal agency responsible for meteorological observation, weather forecasting, and seismology. So this is three areas where it giving a more focus called meteorological observation. Okay, like when a rainfall will be happen, what types cyclones, thunderstorms के बारे में बताना, weather forecasting करना कि next 4 to 5 days what will be the weather. Okay, so these are the areas where most of the time it's giving a more focus. Okay. So also seismology means about the earthquake predictions. Earthquake कहाँ पर होने वाला है, किस जगह पे earthquake कब होने वाला है. Okay, and what type of zones, whether it's come under zone 4 or zone 5, that all prediction is given done by the Indian Meteorological Department. So what are the key highlight of the forecast? Now this will give you one what type of the question they will ask in prelims. The first of all they will ask you the long period average LPA, जिसके on the basis of that in IMD forecast that India will have a normal monsoon this year. Second type they can ask you about the IMD when it was established, okay, and under which ministry it worked, and what are the areas where it give their data like meteorological observations, weather forecasting, and seismology. Now talk about what are the key highlights of the forecast. So India would get 99% of the long period average rainfall changed from 89 centimeter to 88 centimeter in 2018, and this in the periodic update 2022 again this revised 87 centimeter. Now this is the important concept. You should know what is long period average. So long period average is the you can say that it is the total amount of rainfall received a particular area in a given time period. Say it will be 30 years, 50 years. In 30 years उस जगह पे कितना बारिश हुआ है, that is the called long period average, and on the basis of that taken as a one reference point, you can say it's like just the concept of the base year. This long period average taken as a one important base, and IMD predicted that this year will be a normal rainfall, deficit rainfall, or surplus rainfall. So now the data is based on the 1971 to 2020 data का जो है उसके basis पे ये decide किया गया है. So a monsoon is considered as normal when rainfall falls between 96% to 104% of the LPA. So let's talk about what is this long period average. So according to IMD, so LPA of rainfall is the rainfall record over a particular region for a given interval, like month or season, averaged over a long period like 30 years and 50 years. Okay, so last 30 years 50 years में इंडिया कितना रेनफॉल हुआ कितना वहां पर बारिश हुआ, that is called long period average. So IMD predicts a normal, below normal, or above normal monsoon in relation to benchmark long period average. Okay, so long period average में जैसे कि monsoon normal होगा, below normal होगा, and above normal. So India has IMD has in the past calculated the LPA 88 centimeter for the 1961-2010 period and 89 centimeter for the 1951-2000. It calculated the LPA 87 centimeter for the 1971-2020 period. Now this is very important that this is the latest base is taken by the IMD to forecast the Indian monsoon. So the latest one is called 1971-2020. Okay, so on the basis of this this year in IMD predict that India will have a normal monsoon. Okay, so while this quantity benchmark refer to the average rainfall recorded from June to September, because this is the monsoon season in our country. June to September is the monsoon season in our country for the entire country. The amount of rain that falls every year varies from region to region and from month to month. In India itself, you know, all the part of India is not receive the equal amount of rainfall. Some part of India have very surplus rainfall and some part of India have a deficit rainfall. Okay, so therefore along with the country-wide figure, the IMD also maintain a long period average for every meteorological region of the country. So number ranges from around 61 centimeter for the drier northwest India to more than 143 centimeter for the wetter east and northeast India. So every part of India have different type of rainfall, and IMD predicts the rainfall of each and every type of each and every part of the India. Okay, so what is the range of normal monsoon in India? So normal monsoon में क्या होता है कि the LPA of the season rainfall over the country as a whole for the period of 1971-2022 is the 80 centimeter. So ये अभी predict किया गया है कि this year will be a normal monsoon on the basis of 1971-2020 data. So this is within this year. Okay, 30 years, you can say the 50 years. Within this 50 years, amount of rainfall received India will taken as a reference, and that will be considered long period average. And if this will be between the your 80 means 94 to 105, this will be considered as a normal. So IMD maintained the 5 rainfall distribution category on all India scale. These are called normal or near normal. So normal is said like when the percentage departure of actual rainfall is plus minus 10% of LPA, that is between 96 to 100%, 104% of the LPA is called a normal rainfall. This is will be below normal कब होगा? When there will be 90 to 96% of LPA. Okay, and above normal when the 104 to 110% of LPA. This is very important. For prelims point of view, they can ask you consider the following pairs types question also. Below normal, above normal, कब कब होता है? Deficit कब होगा? When departure of actual rainfall less than 90% of okay LPA. Or excess कब होगा? When the departure of actual rainfall is more than 110% of long period average. This is the some means you can say that on the basis of this decide whether the rainfall will be normal, below normal, above normal, deficit, or excess. Okay. Now, this year is not a El Nino year, although it's a La Nina year. Okay, so first of all, you should know the concept of El Nino and La Nina kya hota hai, and what is ENSO also. ENSO, ENSO is called El Nino Southern Oscillation. So El Nino is, you can say, it is a warming phase. Okay, when central Pacific Ocean, Central Pacific Ocean, Central Eastern and Western Pacific Ocean have different pressures that called ENSO phase. And suppose this is a part of Central Pacific Ocean, and this is the part of your suppose this is the equator, and this is the part of your part of the South America. This is the South America ka part hai, and this is the part of Australia. So we see the temperature difference between these two area. Okay, so if when the here the pressure will be a high pressure. Okay, and here the pressure will be low pressure above the Australia. So we can say this is a normal year, it's not a El Nino year. But once this will be changed, like above the Australia there will be high pressure, and near the Chile equator will have a low pressure, then we can say it is a El Nino phase. So means there, here you will see the sea surface temperature of coastal part of South America, Chile and equator is increases, and that part of South America receive a good rainfall, and the part of Australia, Indonesia, including India, have a drought seasons because of high pressure will be created. And remember always, wherever you see a high pressure, it means it will be not allowed the formation of the cloud, as the wind is sinking. Okay, air is sinking downward. So sinking of air downward, it will not allow the formation of cloud, and it will be a condition of stability. Stability is a condition where you will find a drier conditions, and wherever you see the low pressure, so as the very closer water body is very high water body is there, so evaporation will be take place, and that will be result in the formation of cloud, and this will be cause a heavy rainfall near the South American coast. So whenever a part of South America, Central America receive a very heavy rainfall, this is called the El Nino effect. And the part of Australia, India receive a drought condition, is the part of El Nino effect. In normal years, India will have a good rainfall, Australia will have a rainfall, and the part of South America, Chile, equator coast will have a drought condition. This is happened in normal years. La Nina is the strengthened phase of the normal year. So normal year जब काफी ज्यादा strengthen हो जाता है, normal year में जब trade winds are stronger, cold Peruvian currents are there, and high pressure जो बनता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया के पास, सॉरी जो इक्वेडर और चिली के पास जो हाई प्रेशर will form, that will be a more stronger. Low pressure above the Australia will be more stronger, and very good rainfall in India and Australia, and the part of South America will have a dry conditions. But entire Ecuador, Chile, Peru, this country's economy is based on marine resources like good quality fishes. So during a normal year, La Nina years, this part of the South America have a upwelling situation, means the cold water will be reaches on the surface and bring good nutrients. So it bring a very good fishing activity. So there is no any harm or any economic loss for the people of these countries, because their entire economies depend on fishing activities. So during normal years and La Nina years, they receive they have a good fishing, catching good quality fishes, and their economy will be a more progress. But during El Nino, despite having a very good rainfall in South America of this country, they are have economic loss, because entire biological disaster, upwelling will be stopped, so no planktons, no fishing activities. So obviously there will be a huge loss for the economy of the people of Chile, Ecuador, and Peru. So IMD say that this year El Nino not expected. So IMD does not expect an El Nino, but currently La Nina condition are prevailing over the equatorial Pacific, which will continue during the monsoon. So La Nina is actually that bring a good rainfall. Okay, in India. So this is the year where La Nina is present. El Nino is a phenomena associated with the warming of the Central Pacific and drying of the rain over the Northwest India, the coming monsoon. And La Nina event represents the period of below average sea surface temperature across the east central equator Pacific. So it is indicated that sea surface temperature decreased by more than 0.9 degree Fahrenheit for the at least 5 successive 3-month seasons. So like normal to above normal rainfall. So current indications suggest normal to above normal rainfall in the northern part of the peninsular India, central India, and the Himalayan foothills. So many part of Northeast India and southern part of South India are expected to see a subdued monsoon. Okay, so that will be a less monsoon. So why this LPA long period average is needed for forecasting a monsoon in our country? Because entire economy of our country is depend on monsoon. Okay, agriculture, production of food crops. If the production of food crops will be good, then our economy will be good. Inflation will be not rise. So little bit we can say that their deficit of rainfall, 65% of agriculture of our country depend on a monsoon. So that will be also suffer, and entire economy of our country will be a slowdown. So that's why prediction forecasting of monsoon in advance is very very important for our country. Okay, the first hour to smooth out the trends of rainfall, the LPA is needed to smooth out the trends so that reasonably accurate predictions can be made, because of IMD record rainfall data at more than 2400 location and 3500 rain gauge stations. So because annual rainfall can vary greatly, not just from region to region and from month to month, but also from year to year within a particular region or month. So it cover for large variation in the either directions. A 50-year long period average cover for large variation in either direction caused by the freak years of unusually high or low rainfall, as well as for the periodic drought year and the increasingly common extreme weather events caused by the climate change. Okay, now next important news from environment is recently a palm king. Okay, it is called palm king, is the name of the butterfly. So recently the rare butterfly called palm king was sighted for the first time in Tamil Nadu. Now in prelims they can ask you question, recently palm king is in news, or they can ask you recently palm king species were discovered in which part of the, in which state of the India. So they will ask, give you option Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, or maybe one state from northeastern state like Manipur. Okay, so these all states have a very high biodiversity. So there are chances of new species will be discovered from this area only. Okay, the new species not discovered from the part of Rajasthan, part of Haryana, or part of any those areas. Okay, so it is the 321st species of butterfly found in Tamil Nadu among the 1500 species in India. So let's talk about this, what type of species of this pumpkin is. So pumpkin was first recorded in South India by British scientist H.S. Ferguson in 1891 में ही discovered हुआ था पहली बार. Okay, more than a century later it was rediscovered in 2007. Okay, pumpkin belong to the called Nymphalidae subfamily and feeds on palm, okay, coconut and calamus varieties of plants. The butterfly is characterized by its brown color and dark bands of and described as a reclusive, mostly resting in the shade. It is not easy to spot pumpkin because its wood color make more for easy camouflage and it really spread its wings. So ये बहुत अच्छे से जो wood से होते हैं, stems of the plants होते हैं, they means उस color का they adopt it, and it is very difficult to find out because it's not also spread its wings. If they will spread its wing, then you can able to identify something seated on branch of the tree or stem of the tree. So it is not means shown such type of things by the pumpkin. तो ये important है. Now distribution in which part of India? So this butterfly is widely distributed across the part of India, Myanmar, Indochina, Peninsular Malaysia and Thailand. Okay, it occur in the Indonesia archipelago and the Philippines also. In India, pumpkin sighted were recorded in the forest of Aripa, Shendarni, Periyar Tiger Reserve in the south and western Ghat. Okay, so this is very very important for plains point of view. They can ask you which of the following areas you will discover the pumpkin butterfly, and this is also important to know. This butterfly is also discovered not only in India but other part of the world also. Okay. Now another part of the very important for current affair point of your prelims point of view, you must know the traditional New Year festivals. Okay, so recently the President of India has greeted people on the eve of Chaitra called Shukladi, Gudi Parva, Ugadi, Cheti Chand, okay, Vaisakhi Bihu, Nava Barsh, Vaisakhadi, Puthandu Pirapu, and Bohag Bihu. These are the some traditional festival, New Year festivals of our country. So there will be a lot of means possibility that they will ask a question from this area. First of all, they will give the new year and the name of the regions which consider the following pairs type, or they can ask you question individually. They can ask you ये किस part of India में इस festival को celebrate किया जाता है. So these festivals are the spring season, mark the beginning of the traditional new year in India. So what are the traditional new year festivals called? First is called Vaishakhi. So it is also pronounced as Baisakhi, observed by Hindus and Sikhs. It marks the beginning of Hindu solar new year. It commemorates the formation of Khalsa Panth on of warriors under Guru Gobind Singh in 1699. So these are the points are important. Baisakhi was also the day when colonial British Empire officially committed the Jallianwala Bagh massacre at the gathering, an event influence on the Indian movement against the colonial rule. So 13 April 1919 was the time date, okay, when people of means Jallianwala Bagh, they gathered at one location to protest against the arrest of Kichlu and other freedom fighters. So there was means fired by the by British army officer, and that caused the death of thousands of people. So this is called Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So Bihu is a festival in the Indian state of Kerala, okay, and Tulu Nadu region of Karnataka, Mahe district of Indian territory of Pondicherry, neighboring area of Tamil Nadu and their diaspora committee. This festival marked the first day of Medam, the 9th month in the solar calendar of Kerala. It therefore always fall in the mid of the April in the Gregorian calendar on 14 or 15 April every year. So you must know all the important this. Then Puthandu, also known as Putu Varadam or Tamil New Year. It is the first day of year of the Tamil calendar and traditionally celebrated as a festival. Now the festival date is said to be solar cycle of the lunisolar Hindu calendar as the first day of Tamil month Chithirai. Okay. So it there fall on the 14th April every year on the Gregorian calendar. So location you must know किस location में किस for festival को मनाया जाता है. Then Bohag Bihu, it is also called Zat Bihu, Seven Bihu, Sat Bihu. Okay, it is a traditional aboriginal ethnic festival celebrated in the state of Assam and other part of the northeastern India. It marked the beginning of Assamese New Year. So it usually fall in the second week of April. Okay, then Nava Barsh. Nava Barsh is the celebration of the New Year in the West Bengal as per the Bengali calendar. It is popularly known as the Poila Baisakh, which literally translates the first Baisakhi, a month of the lunisolar calendar of the Bengali. Okay, the festivals led by all the caste and religions all across the Bengal. So after Durga Puja, this is the second most hyped festival in the Bengal. This festival connects the people of Bengal, especially the Bengali who are originally Hindu. Okay, so these are the some important festivals, traditional festivals. So recently a report published called a Human Right Report of India 2021 US. Okay, so this is the US published a report called Human Right Reports on India 2021. So recently the US State Department released a strong and critical report on human rights in India in 2021. So prelims point of view, must know which of the following country recently released this report. So this is report by the US. The report is submitted each year to the US Congress, which is the retrospective and contain a country-wise discussion of the state of internationally recognized individual, civil, political, and worker right are set forth in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other international agreements. So in December 2021, the data related to the human right violation in state was provided by the Ministry of Home Affairs in Rajya Sabha. So what are the key highlights of this report? The first is arbitrary arrest and detention. So Indian law prohibits the arbitrary arrest and detention. Okay, but both occur during the year, with police using special security law to postpone judicial review of arrest. So our law say that you cannot arrest without any reason, or you cannot arrest in advance. But in India, it was happened both the things. So pretrial detention was arbitrary and lengthy, sometimes exceeding the duration of the sentence given to those convicted. Also, there is a violation of privacy. Privacy is given more respect in our fundamental rights also. So citing media report on journalists being targeted for surveillance through the Pegasus malware, the report flagged violation of privacy by government authorities, including the use of technology to arbitrarily or unlawful surveil of the interfere with the privacy of individuals. Okay, curb on free expression on media, that was also happened in India. A report highlighted the instance of which the government or the actors considered close to the government allegedly pressured to for the harass the media outlet critical of the development, including through online trolling. So it details the government order to February 21 directing Twitter to block account of journalists covering protest against the three farm laws. So this was happened in India also, the farm law, how the violation of the freedom of speech and expression, on freedom of association. The report highlighted the cases of Amnesty International India, whose assets were frozen by Enforcement Directorate, and the suspension of the Foreign Contribution Act, license of Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative for alleged violations. Okay, so State Energy and Climate Index. So recently, Niti Aayog, very important, Niti Aayog launched a State Energy and Climate Index. So it is the first index that aims to track the effort made by state and UT in the climate and energy sector. So remember, State Energy and Climate Index is released by the Niti Aayog. Now the parameter of index have been devised keeping in mind India's goal for climate change and clean energy transition. So this is what India's goal. So how state governments are taking and UTs are government are taking initiative for the achievement of this target. So first of all, the ranking of the state. So based on their effort toward the improving energy access, energy consumption, energy efficiency, and safeguarding the environment. Okay, helping drive the agenda, affordable, accessible, efficient, and clean energy transition, encouraging healthy competition among the state and different dimension of energy and climate. These are the some data and the parameter they use called discoms, okay, power distribution companies performance, access, affordability, and reliability of energy, clean energy initiatives, energy efficiently, environment sustainability, new initiatives. So what are the categorization given based on the outcome of this all parameters scores? State union territory have been categorized into three groups called front runners, achievers, and aspirants. Okay, so the top performance in the state like Gujarat, Kerala, Punjab have been adjudged the top three performance state in the as the Niti Aayog, and top three performance among the smaller states called Goa, Tripura, and Manipur. These states are performing very well and for achieving their goals. Unsatisfactory performance is basically state like Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand were placed at the bottom. So what is the need here? India is resource rich and diverse country. Many of the states are comparable to the country in European Union in terms of area, population, diversity of resources. Thus, a one size fits all approach will not be appropriate as each state and union territory differ in terms of culture, geography, and use of energy resources. It is imperative to each state and UT to have its own policy to harness its potential and capability. So these are the areas where a focus is given. So what are the India's climate change commitment like in Prime Minister under COP26 Glasgow summit said that Punch Mrit to deal with the climate say that we will use less use of non-fossil installed electricity capacity 500 gigawatt by 2030. India will meet 50% of electricity requirement from renewable energy by 2030. India will reduce the total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton from now onwards till 2030. And by 2020, India will reduce the carbon intensity by its economy less than 45%. So by the year 2070, India will achieve the target of net zero. So these are the some commitment by the India that India will able to achieve its target. Okay. Then Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. This is another important scheme. So recently, National Health Authority, the implementing agency of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, has extended open invitation to interested parties of sharing expression of interest in developing innovation solution aimed at building national digital health ecosystem for India. So digital health ecosystem of India is very important. So this collaborative approach will not just help speed up the development, but also will help in making digital public goods available to public and private entities. Interested parties shall provide this solution as a service at no cost to public and private entities. So this will be given a boost for India for making a digitally connecting all the health sectors. Under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, with the aim to provide the necessary support for the integration of digital health infrastructure in the country. So this provision initiative, the National Health Policy 2017, intends to digitize healthcare in India. So this will help to health ID. It is important to standardize the process of identification of individual across healthcare provider. It will be used uniquely identify persons, authentic them, and threading their health records. Okay, only with the informed consent of the patient across multiple system and stakeholders. Healthcare Professional Registry. It is a comprehensive repository of all healthcare professional involved in delivery of all healthcare services across the both modern and traditional system of medicine. Enrolling in the Healthcare Professional Registry will enable them to get connected to India's digital health system. Health Facility Registry also, it is comprehensive repository for health facility for the country across different system of medicines. So it includes both public and private health facility, including hospitals, clinics, diagnostic laboratories, and imaging centers and pharmacies, etc. So overall, we can say that this will be main aim and objective of this digital health program is it will be act as a backbone necessary to support integrated digital health infrastructure of the country. So it will bridge the existing gap among the different stakeholders of the healthcare ecosystem through digital highway. It aims to create a seamless online platform that will enable interoperability within the digital healthcare ecosystem. So it gave the impetus to open an interoperable standard in the digital health ecosystem. It aims to significantly improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and transparency of health service delivery overall, and also choice to individual to access both public and private health services, facilitate the compliance laid down guidelines and protocols, ensure transparency in pricing of services and accountability for the health service being rendered. Okay, so these are the important points of this scheme. Okay, so these are some limitation. Digital divide is a limitation, data breach or privacy issues, huge requirement of skilled laborers, inadequate primary healthcare data, issue of interoperability are the some of the limitation that not allow India to achieve its health, digital health target. Okay, so this is all for today's current affair topics. You can download this PDF file from your expression.ai. I will send it. Okay, and read each and every news articles. Okay, so we'll meet you in next week to discuss another few important articles. Okay. Okay, fine. So read it carefully and try to understand each and every concepts. Thank you, everybody. Good night.